Good day, Brutal Planet listeners. This is Eric Peterson, quarantining from Salt Lake City today. And today I have the honor of being joined by Magnus Karlsson. How are you doing today, Magnus?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Good. And you're joining us from Sweden today. And how are things over there?
Yeah, I had sun today for the first time in a while, so it was really nice.
Nice.
Or I don't know, maybe it's been sun before because I'm always in my studio. I don't even look out the window. So.
I mean, my next question was for you, when do you have time to sleep?
Yeah. I have it's not far from my bed to the studio, so when I'm really tired, I walk up to my bed and then I go down again.
Nice.
It's great to have a studio in your home, but sometimes it's hard to, take some time off because it's always some work you can do.
Yeah. I imagine the hard part is separating the work-home environment sometimes.
Yeah, but also I love to do it. I don't spend any time on golf or anything.
Yeah.
But when I have some time, I like to write a song or play guitar and that stuff.
Nice. And how I wanted to ask you while I've got you here, how are things, in your opinion, looking for festivals and stuff over there this year?
Yeah, I was surprised. I just saw Sweden Rock. We have here. That's a really, really great big festival. They are still hoping to maybe, last time I looked anyway, but I don't think it will happen. I'm not sure because, now everybody's waiting if we're going to have a third wave or what will happen.
And that's the 1st of June, right? Isn't that festival?
Yeah, it's in the beginning of June, yeah.
Yeah.
So, not far away.
So the last time we talked was a little less than a year ago, and we were talking about We Are the Night. And during that time, you briefly teased this new project you were working on called, you said it was a metal opera, and here we are talking about it today. Tell me a little bit about this project and how it went from your head to where it is today.
It started with that I have more and more orchestra elements on my albums, and I had some time off that I could spend just playing around with some orchestra sounds. I think it was 1.5 years ago, and I really listen a lot to the soundtracks and Hans Zimmer and those guys, and also classical music. And nowadays, the orchestra libraries, the samples sound so good, and if you know how to use them, you can come really close to the real thing, and then that makes it really fun to work with. So I did an intro, and that's the intro of the first song on the album, Awake. And I emailed it to Frontiers and said, "Are you interested of doing something like this?" And they said, "Yeah, go for it." So
nice.
Yeah, and then I started to think about how to do it, and also with the female singers. That I worked with so many great singers, and it would be cool to work with more female singers. And I know that Frontiers signed a lot of bands with female singers, and they sent me a long list of suggestions, and I think it was 50 or 60 singers I was listening to, and some of them I already had in mind. I worked with Noora before, and Anette, and so that was really fun. And I mean, it wasn't enough for me to have great singers. They have to be different too. I mean, it would be interesting to listen to an album if everyone would sound like Noora, even if she's fantastic. So I found Youmna that I didn't know about before, and she has this more classical, voice, and Ailyn, of course, I heard it before, and she has a bit softer voice maybe, and I think that made it was needed for the project to have different kind of voices, so they are not too similar.
So then, when you went through the list, and you probably had some that you already had in mind. I mean, Noora, obviously, because you'd worked with her before. But how did you narrow things down? Did you go in and sample each one of them and say, "Yeah, I think that will work for this," or did you just narrow it down and then try to figure out who was going to go where?
Yeah, I took the ones that I really like, and also that I think have a unique voice. yeah, then I wrote at the same time. I wrote the stuff and melodies, and then I had that. That was the hardest part of everything, to have the right singer in the right place and with the right lyrics and the right right time in the story. I'm not used to that. I'm used to just write the song the best I possibly can, and then move on to the next song. But I couldn't work like that now. I had to think about the whole thing, and that was really, yeah, I'm not used to think that much.
Well, I mean, the cool thing about Adrienne is, with Seven Spires, when she does that kind of stuff, their last two albums have been very similar to your this project. It's like they tell a whole story in it, and it's a really cool concept. So I imagine she was just right on board with this.
Yeah, she's great, but she can sing in so many different styles. So she was perfect for having the main part in this. And sometimes it can almost sound like a Disney musical, and then the next part is super heavy, and she can do it all.
Yeah,
she is really cool.
On a complete side note, it was funny. I follow her on Facebook, and she had a tutorial video on how to do a scream, and it was funny. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw it. It was quite new, just a couple of days ago.
Yeah, and I saw it was on YouTube, and so I asked her. I said, where do we send our tracks of us screaming so that you can rate us?
That was cool.
Because I think it would be funny just to put a gag reel together of all of us trying to do a scream like she does, and then put it in one big gag reel.
Yeah, I actually followed the thing, and I tried it just a bit. I didn't go all the way, but I tried to follow the steps, and I think I will do it. Real, maybe not recorded, but
I did it, and I got a very funny look from my wife. She looked at me like, "What is wrong with you?"
Okay, but maybe your wife doesn't listen to growl.
No, she doesn't. Normally, no, she doesn't. So then, in the story, I wanted to ask you, you have definite, like, Adrienne's the main character in it, but is Noora kind of the bad guy in the character, and how do everybody kind of fit into there?
Yeah, that's a bit mixed. But I mean, Adrienne has one character. She's the heart healer.
Yeah.
But the other thing is had to move around a bit on different characters, because there are 7, and there are more parts. So it's not that Anette is just one person all the time, the whole album through. She changes.
Oh, okay. All right.
I had to do it like that, or it would be impossible.
Yeah, because you would have had even more characters in there, and they would have even added more to it, correct? Yeah,
and I think if I would add more singers, I would collapse. It was quite, with everyone, and send demos and all the emails back and forth, and it was a lot.
So then, because of the logistics of it all, did you just send lyrics out in music and say, "Here's what I would like," and everybody recorded what they thought was their best and sent it back to you? Yeah, but not only the music and lyrics. I had to sing the melodies too, and I didn't have a depth picker, so I had to scream like as I said before. It sounds like a mix between Bee Gees and King Diamond when I tried to reach those notes. And the singers that I already know, I wasn't worried about. But the new ones, I was, what will they think about me when I send demos like this? But they understood the vibe and did a great job, so it was cool. And a strange thing, when I sang all these parts really, really high, and I'm not used to sing that much, I got a hiccup for maybe 2 or 3 days that didn't quit. So, really strange. So I'm going to ask then, is there a hidden track on the album that has you singing some of the parts then? Then my career would be over now. I think that we could put a hidden track in there. We don't have to announce that it's you, but it would just be a fun kind of a side note, right? Yeah. So I can't see this project becoming a touring project necessarily, but
At least not now. No?
no. But even I think even in the best of worlds, it would be a hard thing to pull off. Would you agree?
Absolutely. And it's always, if there are people enough that want to hear it, then it's possible, I think.
Yeah.
I would love to do it, but it has to be a lot of people that really want to see it live, and then we can, get a budget for it. And because it's a big thing to have all, singers all over the world in one place.
Mm-hmm.
And I would love...
And they have to do it with all their other projects they have going on, too.
That's also, yeah. And that was actually a good thing now with the situation in the world that no one is touring, so they could sing in the album.
Exactly.
Otherwise, it would be hard to get everyone in the studio.
So one thing I could see happening with this is, I could see if you had enough, you could do like a one-time recording where you went into a theater in possibly somewhere and had everybody come in and do their parts, and then have a really cool video of this.
Mm. Yeah, that would be great. Absolutely.
Have you thought of any other avenues you would like to take this?
No, actually not. But it's a great idea.
I mean, it would just be fun to have all of them do their parts along with you and your rest of your, whoever you assembles for and just have it, in a theater somewhere and have a professional recording of it, and then you could put it out as a live album and a video.
Yeah, and a real orchestra.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be a dream. Absolutely.
Yes. So do you have a follow-up for this in mind already, or are you thinking more about something like that? Or
yeah, I think there will be a follow-up, and I guess I'm waiting a little for after the release and see if Frontiers tells me that it didn't sell anything. Then I guess they won't pay for another one. But hopefully there will be a follow-up.
I mean, when you think about it, and you really think about heavy metal and even the historical side of heavy metal, you think about like Rob Halford and some of those. In reality, their voices really connect well with this opera-like style. So I mean, for most of us, including yourself, Ralph is the same way. When he sings, they all have a very operatic voice. So I think most heavy metal fans, this is not a new concept to them, and they love it.
Yeah, I think so. They're both kind of music that are really epic and big, and it's the same. You get the same feeling of it. So that's why it mixes so good. To mix metal and classical music, and a lot of bands have orchestra elements in it, and you have a classical intro before a really hard metal song. And take a band like Dimmu Borgir, for example. I think they are excellent at mixing really, really hard music with choirs and orchestra, and it works really well.
So in the future, I'm just curious, have you thought about mixing a male and a female voice together to create an opera too?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I haven't thought about it really. I thought it was cool this time to do it just with female singers, but yeah, I'm into everyone that sings great.
Yeah,
and I did albums with Russell Allen, for example, together with Annette, and they sang duets and stuff.
Yeah.
So that works. And also with Michael Kiske and Amanda Somerville.
Yeah.
We did a couple of that. That worked really well too. So yeah, it would work to make a full opera with mixed singers too. Absolutely. Actually, I think it would be easier, but I wanted to try to, make it hard this time.
Yeah. I mean, you might as well start with the hard part so that it's easier from now on.
Yeah.
So I feel like, for me, I've always enjoyed the epicness, like you said, of heavy metal, and you seem to have really done a good job bridging those two. And so for me, I would love to see, more voices mixed in and create your own. You could create if you had the budget, you could create your own opera with almost a movie.
Mm.
So I mean, that's just me.
The movie is the word. I mean, I'm thinking a lot about the movie. You know, the soundtracks feeling of the whole thing. That it's not you're not supposed to just check out the song and then you're supposed to just like you're seeing a movie. You don't check just one scene and then move on. You want to see the whole movie, and this album is made for that too. That you should listen to the whole thing. So I wasn't. It felt a bit strange to make singles and videos for this, but we had to do it for the promotion, of course. But I think the listener will miss a lot when they don't check out the whole thing. Yeah,
I agree, and that's what I was just going to mention too. Is for everybody listening to this. I mean, I have been fortunate enough that we've reviewed the album, so I've had a chance to listen to it, and it's really best from front to end, and that's the proper way to listen to it, so you get the whole story.
Yeah, and I know that everyone is stressed and just give a new music a half minute and then move on to the next one on Spotify or YouTube or whatever. But some music is made for just like you seeing a movie and sit down, relax, and listen to have some headphones and close your eyes and try to see the story in front of you. That's the best experience.
Oh yeah, yes. So on the same subject as of working with female vocalists, I just wanted to touch on that Primal Fear has another album coming out with Tarj Turnen on it, correct?
Yeah, it's it's not a full album. It's a remix of a song from the last album, and it's also an EP with some extra songs on it. Okay. I'm not sure how many, but it's in April. Yeah, with Tarja.
And did you what part did you have in it? I mean, I know you originally recorded a lot of the songs, but how did you contribute to this one?
Yeah, now I have to think about it. Did I play the guitars again? I'm not sure. I didn't do a lot of stuff. I'm in the video, but I hope so. I haven't seen the video yet, but I recorded my guitar parts here in Sweden.
Okay.
And they will do something with it. And but it's not easy. I work like this with videos now, but. It didn't work with some of the videos for the last album because it was too weird to just cut me in. Sometimes it can work. We did it now with Heart Heal and it worked. But sometimes it doesn't work to make videos and people all over the world.
And the new single, when does the new single for that drops pretty soon too, doesn't it?
With Tarja.
Yeah.
Yeah, in April, I think.
Oh, the whole album, there's no singles coming out before then? It's just all coming out in April then?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't really.
Okay.
I have to check it out.
See, when do you have time to sleep?
Yeah. No, that's... even if I have time to sleep, I sometimes can go to sleep and then I have tons of melodies just spinning around in my head and I have to go up again and record them. So
wow.
So and I'm. It's not that I'm complaining, but I love to do it. But I'm thinking often. I'm thinking about it. It would be great if the days could be twice as long.
Exactly. So, other than this, do you have any other projects that you're currently working on, or anything coming up in the future?
Yeah, I just finished Anette Olzon solo album.
Oh, nice.
That's really cool, and she's really into hard and heavy stuff like Dimmu Borgir and that, and we did it really, really heavy, and also with a lot of orchestra stuff, but different to Heart Healer and more up tempo and really hard, and that's important for me to separate the projects and have different styles. And she told me I don't do any soft stuff. I want to have really, really hard.
Wow.
Great, because her voice is quite not that hard, but the music is very hard, and I like the contrast, the mix of the two.
Yeah, yeah.
And right now I'm sitting in front of my here in my studio working on lyrics for the next Ferryman with Ronnie Romero and Mike Tirana.
Nice.
So that's my next deadline.
Oh, so you just made my day, because the last two Ferryman albums I fell in love with, and I talked to Ronnie Romero earlier this year, and I said, please let there be another Ferryman album.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. This will be maybe a little different. I don't know. It's a bit more progressive stuff, maybe, and. Yeah, let's see. It's always hard to say.
Yeah. But I told Ronnie, I said, I feel like anything he puts his voice on really has a stamp of approval with me, because I think he has an amazing voice. And adding you to that musically, I think it adds a double stamp. So.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, he's great, and it's so easy for him. He doesn't have to struggle. And I don't know if I told you last. No, I couldn't, because since we talked the last time, I went to Sweden Rock, and no, that must be the year before. It was because last summer there were no festivals. But I saw him at Sweden Rock with Richie Blackmore and Rainbow.
Oh, okay.
And you can imagine him singing all the Rainbow songs from Dio, Jolene Turner, and also the Purple songs and everything, and he did it like it was nothing.
Yeah.
I talked to him. He was singing for 35,000 people, and then 5 minutes after the show, I was talking to him, and it was like not
like it was not a big deal. Like you just had a conversation with 35,000 people.
Yeah, he was so. It was so easy. Maybe it's not easy, but it looks easy.
Yeah, he makes it look easy.
It's not many singers in the world that can go up with Richie Blackmore and take all the songs, all the hits from the Purple and Rainbow, and make it really good. That's I don't think there is many that can do it like Ronnie.
No. Well, I appreciate your time, and I just want to encourage everybody to go pick up the Heart Healer, the metal opera by you, and it's because it's amazing, and I've heard it, and I knew I was going to love it, and I fell in love with it, of course, as soon as I heard it. So everybody go pick that up, and I appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you. That's great to hear. I'm very glad you like it.
Yes. And we will chat soon.